Hey, let's get here, and it's time to talk about Gachiakuta and this canvas town that we had here. This episode felt very much so like a built-up episode, but the last part of it actually got me a bit emotional. I'm a sucker for moments like that and characters, and character that had a very brief appearance. His fate and what happened this episode was actually a pretty cool part, and how they handled this art thing, especially considering the world. This was a fun episode, and I was pleasantly surprised how much it resonated also with me, and probably also with Rudo and everybody else towards the end. So let's get into it and talk about it. Now, big stuff from last week. Here we have Rudo trying to clean his gloves, and we see a bit more how much his wounds and what exactly happened with his hands hurt him when he doesn't have the gloves. And I'm really curious how he fully got those wounds. And I liked the conversation between him and Rio. Rio had an interesting entrance there. She was just waiting on his bed when he came from the bath. She overheard him moaning. She thought it's something else. Was worried about him. Where is my beautiful girl waiting for me in bed, huh? Where? When is that going to happen to me, by the way? I know. But on the serious things here, she overheard him with the pain in the hands, and him saying his parents gave him those, and Rio saying that parents give you both good things and bad things. Which is very true. We probably all have our own things to share about parents and so on, what happened there. I'm also curious what exactly happened with Rio's parents, not just with Rudo's, but with Rudo seems to be one of the mysteries of the series, and also the gloves in this episode. Feels like maybe they're alluding to something what happened, but we're going to get to that. Now, after this, we have them preparing to working, making preparation to go to No Man's Land, but first they need to have Rudo's full face, this mask, and they have this eccentric guy that is working on it. They don't want to interrupt him because he doesn't handle deadlines well, so they just let him do it in his own time here. But they also need a spell or a protection thing being cast on Rudo every time somebody goes into No Man's Land. So for them to have this, they need to go to the city of graffiti canvas town to find this artist. We saw him a few episodes ago, Gob, the guy that was when we met a bit of the cleaners at HQ, when Engine said this is a guy that always follows his passion. I'm paraphrasing a bit. I like that sort of character. He seems like a fun guy, but we're going to get to him. First, here we meet a bit more of the cleaners. We have the teams being assembled here: Zanka, Rio, Engine, Delmon, Tamzi, Gris, Follow, and Tommy are gonna be the group that are gonna go on this mission. I really like the muscle guy, Delmon. And he also liked Rudo here, but man, he can scream like he's gonna overpower everybody in a conversation there. You're not gonna win any arguments with him, but he seems like a really fun and good person. Here, he's just very outspoken. And he liked Rudo, and also giving that speech to raise morale made me think a bit of Kingdom, some of the best speeches in a series, and also ReZero speech. But and speaking of ReZero, the camera pan, the way it spun there, I really reminded me a bit of Echidna there, the movement here. But back to Gachiakuta. We have the canvas city, them finally heading there, and we see the dome being made around the city to protect it from the trash rain, from the trash from the sphere, and reminded me a bit of Junktown from Overwatch, if you guys ever played Overwatch, but with a lot more graffiti. And it even has barriers for protection here. I like how those two random guys couldn't walk in. Apparently there's a barrier or a spell, however you wanna call it. If you have bad intentions when you go in, when you try at least to go in, you're not allowed to go in there. So that's pretty cool. The way they made graffiti and art be like a spell casting thing. Gob having this power to imprint something on his art, like making, for example, this wall negate this one attack. How Engine put it, like you draw something on it and it has this passive ability in a way to negate this attack. That's very interesting way to to have art, and even how this city was made together with people that like drawing and coming together and just being this city of freedom. I really like concept like this here. But yeah, the art looks great, the graffiti inside here, and I'm going to look for Gob there. But apparently has this rare vital instrument being handed down, and keep that in mind. We're gonna talk a bit more about that towards the end here. An engine bumping into this kid. I like how Rio started teasing engine, saying engine made the kid cry. But that kid is gonna be a bit more important later on. Engine didn't actually make him cry when we get the full context, but I liked the teasing from Rio there. And after that, the mayor walks in there and finally revealing that Gob is the name of the artist they were looking, but unfortunately he died that morning from body pollution. He was too free and too reckless, so to say. He went into polluted zones just to paint here. You know, that type of person that does what they love way too much at the risk of their own well-being. So that's how kind of Gob was. He kind of even refused to wear masks and so on, and protection. He was too much of a free spirit for his own good, but at least he lived the life he wanted to live here. Apparently Gob already picked his successor to hand down his vital instrument, and that's the kid we saw earlier, the kid that engine bumped into, Remlin Taisark. I'm sorry if I'm butchering names. It made me think of Rembrandt, speaking of paintings there. I don't know if it's inspired by the name, but it just popped into my mind here. And the mayor having some very valid concerns, maybe thinking that Remlin is too young for this responsibility. It's kind of like the face of the city when you're the painter, so to say, when you inherit that power and can become a giver, of course, with it. But being that young and having too much pressure on you, being the spokesperson of the city. And this is where made me think also Kuda gloves and also Rudo. Kuda gloves also be passed down as an instrument, maybe being part of that series. Maybe Rudo's parents, maybe whatever they were involved into. Probably Recto knew more than he was telling Rudo and so on. And also speaking of his history, we barely know anything about Recto in general. So I'm liking this concept of some vital instruments also being able to be passed down, and also your aptitude also affecting how well you adjust to that for example. So something to keep in mind. But Gob died what he loved doing, painting. And what I really like when I got emotional in this episode was probably thanks to Remlin. Like I said, I'm a sucker for moments like this when characters push through pain or do something to push through it there, show emotion. Even it was a quick moment with Gob, he barely showed up, made me care about him. But now Remlin kind of amplified that a bit when everybody was feeling sad and down and depressed about Gob dying. Remlin kind of wanted to say just no more, enough with the dark stuff, just celebrate, grabbed the vital instrument, ran out, and he goes Super Saiyan painting mode, makes fireworks of paint cans, and just wanting to celebrate Gob's life. And I felt that gets me a bit emotional here, and I liked having characters do that quite a lot, and it resonated with Rudo, also made him think of Recto and everybody else. It kind of inspired the city and the people around there. Moments like this are great for me. So I'm curious where they're gonna go with this. Was a fun episode, and I was very pleasantly surprised with the emotion in this one, and also the small bits of things and the build up with the gloves. Could they be passed down? Recto's history, Rudo's parents. Are they gonna be able to get the spell now, maybe from Remlin, or maybe it's too early for him since he just got on the job, so to say. Are they gonna be able to go into no man's land after this? Are they putting the spell on the mask? Maybe that's why everybody's carrying that mask. Maybe can't be put on your body. So I have a lot of questions surrounding after this, but it was a pretty good episode here, and emotional just for a character that we saw in a few seconds in previous episodes. So let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about the episode. As always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot. and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Gachiakuta. I'm gonna see you again in the next one. Bye bye.